Folge des Junge Presse Podcasts. Mit gerade einmal 7.760 Abonnenten ist Club Carter Radio ein recht kleiner Kanal auf YouTube. Dafür aber ist er was ganz Besonderes. Die Kanalinhaberin Sagid Carter ist eine niederländische Radiomoderatorin, die sich dazu entschieden hat, auf YouTube einen Radiosender zu erstellen. Einmal die Woche lädt sie einen Beitrag hoch, bei dem sie 1 Stunde lang über Musik redet und diese dann auch vorspielt. In diesem Interview wird sie uns erzählen, wie sie zu diesem Entschluss gekommen ist und wie ihr derzeitiger Job aussieht. Tell me a bit about yourself. What did you do before you started your channel?
All right, so my name is Sagid Carter. I used to work in radio. I started working at Funix Radio. That was more, let's describe it as an urban station. That's where I started as a producer. And then I slowly but surely started to make my own radio show, which was really cool. And then I think in a year or two, I transferred to 3FM. That was a more alternative station where I had my own radio show on Saturday nights, which was really cool. And that was a little bit more my music taste. And then after a year, I got a show that was 4 nights a week. And I think that was when I got really into radio, and that was a very music-focused show. That was when I started to interview artists as well. So that was really cool. And then 3 years ago, I decided to quit because there were some changes that were going to be made, which would make it harder for me to play the music that I really wanted to play. So I decided to quit, and then I think a year or two was just like doing a lot of voiceover work, not really knowing what it was that I wanted to do. And then just one day it just hit me. I was like, okay, I really want to share music again. But I've always felt when I was still working in radio, I was like, I don't think this works anymore. Like if you want to draw the youth into radio, you have to go to them because they're not going to come to you anymore because everything else in our lives is on demand. So who's going to like wait for their show to come on and then pause their lives basically to watch it live, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would have to like interview Beyonce live, and that's going to be like the only time that you're going to be able to get an interview for people to like really tune in at that time. So, and I am obsessed with YouTube. Like I could talk about it for hours. So I always wanted to do something on YouTube. And first I did like musical essays. I also have another channel. Maybe you find that one as well, but I do musical essays and I wanted to do interviews, but I felt like it's been done already. And there's so many people out there doing it. So I just started to think like, okay, what am I missing? Like, what would I want to be out there? And that's how Club Carter Radio came about.
Yeah, when I found it, I was like, oh my God, this is like a really good idea because me personally, I really like radio. I like hearing some information to the music that I'm listening because I like to like find music that I don't know about.
Yeah.
And I thought this is a great idea because I have also interviewed some people from the normal radio, the urban radio, that's here in Essen. And they said, yeah, we have such a big problem with young people and they're not listening to radio, or if they're listening, they're just in the car. And they're like, okay, what can we do to make this better? So they started social media and thought, okay, maybe we can make them transfer from social media to radio. But I always thought that's so hard because it's so easy to just pick your phone and scroll through your playlist and say, okay, I like this song. I'm just going to listen to it without having any ads or someone that's talking about the weather. So I thought, oh my God, this is such a great opportunity as a listener.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you.
So
yeah, I figured I have to, you got to bring it to them.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what you need to do. Like, you got to bring it to them. And you have to do it in a way how you know that your audience is consuming it. So that's why I said like, because even when I was still working in radio, and maybe I'm not allowed to say this, but I wasn't really listening to radio either. Like I just, happened to me and I enjoyed doing it and it was a very cool opportunity. But every single time I told friends or people that I know that I was working in radio, everybody was always like, oh, I'm so sorry. I never listened to radio. I'm like, it's fine. I don't either. You know? Do you get what I'm saying? So I figured when I quit, I was like, okay, I want to make something that I would watch or listen to.
Yeah.
So that was very important to me. And that's how this idea came about. Because I was like, I think if I found this, one, I would think, oh my God, that's so cool. And two, I would be pissed. Because I would be like, how did I not come up with this idea? Like, it's right there, you know? So that's when I knew that I had to do it.
Yeah. That was, I really just stumbled upon your channel because I oftentimes just put on YouTube playlists because, like I said, like listening to new music, and it's also so much easier than creating my own. And then I was really surprised when you just started talking and saying like, hey, welcome to Club Carter Radio, and this is this song, and here are some fun facts about that, and was hooked. So
thank you so much.
my next question is about your daily life. In what way has it changed to normal radio?
You mean my daily life and how this show changed my daily life?
Well, more like, what are the differences in your daily life compared to when you were working at the radio?
Okay, so I think the biggest change is that I'm doing it all by myself. So when I was working in radio, I would have a producer, and then somebody else would like curate the playlist, and then you have a director in the studio as well. You know, like all. In my opinion, now that I'm doing it by myself, all this unnecessary stuff, basically, like it's just old media. You know, you have a person for every single part of making a radio show, which is cool. But I have noticed with myself, I'm very into DIY. Like the less, the better. Like if you take YouTube in general right now, I feel like people are kind of like sick of everything being so slick and perfect and just, you know, polished. And I think what I really love about my show now, the biggest difference, is just the simplicity of it all and just going back to the source. Like, what do I want to do? I just want to share some songs that I like and just give a sentence or two about why I like that song or how I found it or what is cool about this artist and just move on. Just let the music speak for itself. I don't know what it's like in Germany, but one thing that really started to bother me about radio in the Netherlands, and mind you, this is a taste thing, just people talking about themselves a lot and just making themselves the personality of the show. And mind you, you need all these different types of radio, right? Like you have people who love personality radio, but that wasn't really my thing. I just really wanted to share music and just go back to the source. I think that is the biggest change. Like I'm doing it by myself, and it's actually, you would think that from working with a team to working by myself would be harder and more work, but actually it isn't, because I can just do what I want. I can just play the song I want. There are no rules. I can do whatever I want.
I personally imagine that a big block of time in traditional radio is always the meetings and checking if this is okay and that is okay, and if he likes that and if she thinks it's okay to do this song with this moderation. So that all of that just completely goes away. You just have to think about your emails, how you want to style your content, what songs you maybe want to post, maybe commenting or interacting with your fans. So this huge block of time that always occupies one's day is suddenly gone.
Freeze up. Yeah, you're 100% right.
And I think we started talking about this topic, but how important do you think radio is today as an entertainment medium?
Ooh, how important? I mean, it depends. I think it is very important for the older generations. I think a lot of, 60, 50 plus people probably are like still into it. I think for the youth, it doesn't. I don't think it doesn't move the needle. That's not where culture is happening right now at all.
Yeah.
I think 20 years ago, we would have like here in the Netherlands, I don't know what it's like in Germany, but radio stars,
Yeah, we
you know,
also
like
had that.
know them from the radio. Like people wanted to be those men mostly. In my opinion, right now, that's
Yeah, I remember a long time ago when my parents would talk about these radio type guys like they were some sort of mini celebrity. Like everybody knew their name and was like excited when it was their turn to talk and present music.
Yes.
But today that's totally vanished. Like nobody cares who's presenting the music as long as the music is presented. I think there would be more young people excited if a musician would be hosting a radio show and that's popular. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. And also what you just said about it doesn't matter who hosts the radio show as long as the songs are being presented. That's exactly how I felt at one point. I was like, it doesn't really matter if I'm sitting here or somebody else. Like the people who are listening to this radio station, they're gonna keep listening. It doesn't matter if I'm here or not. And that also gave me a very empty feeling where I was like, it doesn't matter if I'm here.
Yeah,
you know, like
it doesn't matter if it's you or a robot or your colleague.
exactly. So that was another reason where I felt like, oh yeah, this machine feels very broken. Yeah.
Coming on to the topic of robots, what would you say is the role of AI? Because I've talked with some people and there are a lot of people that say, oh, AI is dangerous and misinformation and all of that jazz. And there are people that say, oh, AI, it's going to be my next big helper. Like it's my personal assistant in my daily life. So what is your opinion on AI?
Well, the way that I'm making it right now is through a lot of voice-over work. So in that sense, AI scares me because I'm like, it's probably going to take my job.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I'm like not a big fan. But what I've noticed, which I didn't really even think about when I came up with this idea, is that a lot of the comments that I'm getting right now are people saying, it is so nice to have a human-made playlist and actually a human talking to me because there are so many AI-operated playlists, right? So, and I think there were more people who had this conversation in the beginning that there might be a chance, we won't know for sure, of course, but where human-made things will be more worth because everything else is going to be ruled by a machine. So I don't know. I mean, it scares me in a sense that everything that's new is scary, right? We don't know where it's going to end. And to be really honest, I'm trying to stay up to date on it because I do believe that I think it's best to learn about it because otherwise it's just going to pass you by and then you become our parents.
Especially in the field of media, you always have to be up to date.
Right. So I try to stay informed, but at the same time, I'm also in a sense where I'm like, I'm just going to wait it out a little bit and see what happens and just try to ride the wave because I don't feel like there's anything else that I can do. But if you ask me my initial feeling about it, a bit scary. But then maybe, I don't know, what I just said, I've been getting a lot of comments saying that they actually really appreciate a human-made thing in the time of AI. So maybe it works to my advantage. I don't know.
Me personally, I actually believe in the whole thing. Like, there will come a time when making mistakes and being a human and showing your humanity in your work is going to be worth quite a bunch because AI is a very cheap alternative to human labor. And just like, these artisans who make like tiles and stuff, someday it will be respected and appreciated more because, there's a lot of work that goes into it and AI is cheap and easy. So that's my hope. But that's also because my job will be gone if AI rules.
I hope so too. But I also think like, how you already have like when somebody has a piece of clothing and they're like, this is handmade.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like this is handmade. This is not made by a machine. A lady made this for like 1,500 hours, and
Yeah.
and maybe we're gonna come to a point where it's like, no, but this is actually made by human.
Yeah.
Like this is not this is So I hope so, or maybe that's what I hope, that media platforms will start flagging things with AI. Just like
Yeah.
when somebody's saying something that is not quite correct, that the social media platforms are like saying like, well, this is not. I hope that at one point there comes like an AI thing, like this is
Yeah.
made with AI, and maybe I don't know, maybe that will become like almost like a shame thing. Like, oh, I don't know. Are you on Pinterest?
Yeah. I am on Pinterest.
On Pinterest, I've noticed in the comments when something is AI, people are pissed.
Oh
In the
yeah.
comments.
Especially art.
Yes, they are so mad.
Yeah.
So maybe, but maybe this is just a beginning thing. But maybe that's gonna like stay the sentiment where people are almost gonna be like shamed if they use AI for certain artistic
Yeah.
stuff.
Like with
I don't know.
fast fashion.
Exactly. Like fast
Yeah.
fashion is also. I mean, in the end, I don't feel like we're shaming people enough because people are still buying fast
Yeah.
fashion. But maybe, yeah. We're gonna have to see. I think that's a great comparison: fast fashion and AI. We'll see.
So I've got a bit of more like a personal question because I just like to ask these things. But what is your favorite song in the last weeks? I never say favorite song of all times because that is hard. But like something you listened to in the last weeks where you're like, oh my god, that's a good song.
There is this Danish artist. Her name is Fine. That's how I heard you pronounce her name, but you spell it like fine, Fine. And I've been talking a lot about this with my friends, but I don't know what's in the Danish water, but those Danes right now, they are killing it. And she recently released a song and it's called I Could. If you're into like a shoegazy type of, if you like that type of vibe, then you should definitely check out Fine. You spell it as Fine. Love her work. Yeah, I think she's my favorite right now.
That's cool. I will definitely listen to that.
Yes.
And then, which platform is your favorite? Because you use Instagram and also YouTube, of course, for your channel. But there are, of course, different ways to interact with the platforms. And which is your favorite?
YouTube, 100%. Like, it's not even a challenge. And I think that's because it's gonna sound crazy, maybe a little bit, because from all the social media platforms, YouTube is maybe with Pinterest feels the slowest. And I've already noticed, like, I'm still struggling how I want to use my TikTok and my Instagram. Because everybody around me has been saying, but if you're going to push yourself on Instagram and TikTok, you're going to grow faster. I'm like, yeah, but with what type of audience? I feel like YouTube, you will have a loyal, dedicated audience. Like
Yeah,
people
that's
who really love your work. Because that's how I am on the platform. Like
And also, I think because YouTube is very much more long format videos, it also is, the people have a longer attention span and are more
100%.
patient to wait for something, to wait for an upload, and also to see your whole video instead of the TikTok people, let's call them that, who are basically bored after a 30-second video and can't keep on going much more after that.
Yeah, 100%. And also, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of the times when I used to be on TikTok a lot and I would talk to my friends about something that I saw, I would never know the name of the creator.
Yeah.
Never. I would always be like, have you seen this girl that does this and this and this and this? And when I noticed that, I was like, oh, that kind of sucks because that means that you don't care enough about the content to even know the name of the creator. I think that's so wild. And I almost never followed those people. I just saw a TikTok and I was like, funny. And then I would just like it and just keep it moving. So YouTube, 100%. But don't get me wrong. I understand I understand short form content, and I really respect the people that are very good at making short form content because that's a different beast. That's a different muscle that you need to have. And I do feel that maybe I should be a little bit more present, but YouTube is my main focus and my favorite platform.
Yeah. One of these things that have annoyed me in the past, still annoys me, is when YouTube started the whole thing with the short videos. Because every time I opened the app, it would immediately go onto that. And me personally, I love dopamine. So I would basically just start doom scrolling instead of like watching the things I wanted to watch. And there's no way to just disable this function. Have you got any tips or things that for some young people in the audience?
Ooh, if you are a real music nerd and you really, really want to support your artists, try to buy their music if you can. Like, my rule is like if somebody releases an album and I like at least 75% of the album, I buy it on vinyl. Because they don't make much money through streaming, especially those alternative artists doing it on their own, not with a big label backing them up, or not being able to travel as much, tour as much. So if you're really into music and you really want to support your favorite artists, try to buy their music because that really, really helps them.
That's a great tip. Thanks for the interview.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wir sind beim Ende dieses Interviews angekommen. Falls ihr euch für weitere Themen im Bereich des Journalismus interessiert, schaut gerne mal beim Junge Presse Podcast vorbei und andere Beiträge natürlich auf dem Newsletter.